Before we get into today's video, I wanted to talk about one of the best ways to save money on Ebony packs. We all know that buying packs is the best way to turbocharge your growth, and it's always better to save money while getting the same rewards. US customers can get 25% back on all Ebony purchases made through the Amazon App Store. To take advantage of this awesome deal, follow 3 simple steps. Number 1, install the Amazon App Store on your Android device or BlueStacks emulator. 2, download Ebony through the Amazon App Store. And 3, purchase packages in Ebony to get 25% back in Amazon coins. Additionally, this time, Amazon has provided a mechanism to pre-register to avoid any payment issues. The link is in the description of the video. I've also put the link to this website in the description of the video. This website includes QR codes to download and buy Amazon coins and an in-depth set of instructions on how to get Amazon App Store set up. Make sure to take advantage of this amazing deal while it lasts. Hello everyone, welcome back to Optimize Ebony. I want to do a quick report analysis of the attacks that we did on the K44 and SVS. Again, I want to make this completely clear. This was a bad situation for the other server. Basically, they had a K44 leave their alliance and essentially quit the game. And so they wanted to get some subs from him, and not have him be a SVS liability in the future. So they've requested that we help out killing him. That being said, we did not go positive. I want to be clear on that. I think it's super well built keep in terms of, it's 36 billion. I had a rally size, between 55 and 61 million troops. So like it's gonna take a little bit to whittle down the troops there. And then again, I made a couple mistakes in my calls on it. And I'll go through that to begin with, or I'll go through that in this video. But I did want to make that clear. This is not a video about, oh wow, look at this amazing thing that we did. It's talking through why we did what we did, what I would have done in the future if this situation happened again. And it's not it's not to shame this keep. This keep is super well built and has really good buffs. Let's take a look at those again. And I think, yeah, I mean, just super good buffs here, particularly in the siege where he has a lot of siege. He's kind of set up for siege defense, pretty decent in mounts, and then he has just very thick layers of ground which help protect his cav, and also it makes it tough to get through. So yeah, we'll quickly go through his troops. I kind of did that in the last one, but pretty even layers here until basically T13 or yeah, T13s are starting to get pretty beefy. Has kind of a little bit of a T13 wall, and the siege kind of is still high until it gets to, I think, T9 and then drops off a bit. Yeah. So he is kind of built in the right way for siege in that way. He doesn't have a lot of low tier siege, which is, helps prevent giving up a lot of points. A little bit heavy on T1 siege, but other than that, not bad. He isn't a T1 trap or T1 wall, so that is another thing to note. So what we did is we opened off with a T11 siege rally. You can see it went positive in terms of power, but basically this was one of the mistakes that we made. Real quick before we get into that, it did kill his T15s and got into his T14s, but this was one of the mistakes that we made. T11s do not score well in SVS, and I knew this. This is not anything new to me. I I I wanted to do this T11 because some of the people that were joining the rallies were a little source of life constrained, and so T11s are way cheaper to heal than than a big siege rally, which would have been the right play. Even though the power wouldn't have looked as pretty, it would have been a little bit closer in terms of SVS score. But going back on it, because I had a smaller rally cap, we couldn't fit everyone in. I think it would have been better to do a big siege rally here. I thought that we could make up some of the negative points from the T11 and other places. And then here's the second mistake, another T11 that we did. Um, yeah, so I think without these two T11s, it would have been very close to even, if not, us being a little bit ahead. This kind of got through his T14s and then then got to a lot of his T13s. So at this point, we could start big sieging and probably go positive, which is what we did. Didn't go positive, but we're a little bit closer there. And let's take a look at, I mean, when we're looking at Siege, the things that I'm looking at. So obviously his buffs are comparable to mine, better than mine on defense in terms of attack and stuff like that. Really, what we have is the troop counts, and so that's where this gets a little bit a little bit sketchy. The HP kind of debuff about evens out. Obviously, he has way more siege attack because he has his subs. We actually have more siege defense debuff, but and these are my buffs. These are not representative of all the people joining the rally. There's maybe like one or two people who have buffs that are a little bit ahead of this, but most of them are most of the big people are probably kind of in this range, and then after that we kind of fall off pretty significantly, probably somewhere in like the 200 or 2K range, which obviously against these buffs is going to be tough, even with a bigger rally. Um, so, oh, yeah, so let me actually talk through the troops that this killed. This killed um, again, a good amount of his siege down to T10s. So then we wanted to do another big siege. This one was not as positive because basically we got through his siege. Again, the score is not super tied to, or it's a little bit tougher to judge the score in SVS based on the power exchange because it's scored a little bit differently. But this time we killed all of his siege and got into his archers, killed down to his a little bit left of his T14s. So then basically we started on the archers. So archers, I think, was where the only ones that we did go a little bit positive on. Here you can see this is slightly positive. Um, let's take a look at his debuffs there. I mean, really solid here. It's going to be tough to kill this keep, unless you have really big rally size or outclass him in buffs, and we didn't have either of those. So this killed down to his T13s, and so obviously we needed another one here, which we did. This one was positive because we killed his T1s. And this one would have been positive in SVS score as well. T1s, when you get a big clear like that, we'll give up a decent amount of points there. So yeah, that cleared his T1s and then went into his archers a little bit. This is another potential point where uh, basically at this point, I made the decision to go big siege to clear some of his archers. That went okay, not like super positive, but as you can see, it did kill all of his T13s and down to his T12s. Still a decent amount of T12s though. So this is where it was a little questionable. Okay, do we want to do another big siege? And we ended up deciding no. We wanted to do a cav and see if we could just clear it with a cav and a ground. Cav the rally cap was smaller on cav, so that kind of hurt us a little bit there. And his like I said, his ground has pretty thick layers, particularly when you get into the T13s and T12s. And then you can see like his T12 archers just kind of wrecked that rally. Um, so that one wasn't super positive. And then the next one, we went with another cav. I don't know if this was the right call. Honestly, this is where my lines kind of struggles with ground buffs. Um, in rallies and stuff like that. And so ground also has the capability of splatting pretty big. This cav was probably necessary. Did clear through his T13 ground and got into his T12s. But then here, then he's a lot smaller in power, and we decided to do a cleanup cav. This is another spot where probably we should have gone ground here. He only had T12 and below ground, so once we got through that ground, uh, we would have cleared the archers and remaining troops pretty cleanly. So this one wasn't as clean as it should have been. It was positive, but it wasn't a big clear, and I think we needed this to be a big clear to go positive. But yeah, I think our ground could have gotten through that T12 ground, and then it would have gone super positive on this T12 Archer and below. But that again, you live and you learn. Our cav buffs are definitely better than our ground buffs, so that was one of the reasons why we made that decision. So again, full transparency. We did not go positive on that. We were winning SVS before we attacked him, and I thought that there was a chance that we could go positive, but in the end, we ended up going a little bit negative. I think it was around 3 billion. Um, 3.5 billion, somewhere in that range. And I'm not gonna I'm not gonna call out different players and stuff like that. Obviously, we have a wide variety of buffs, and so some of our players are positive. For example, let's look at my score, 4,700. Um, very positive in terms of score, but a lot of our players did not go nearly as positive. So I think what I would have done different in the future is done Big Siege instead of T11s, and only had the people who can afford the souls to join those. We had plenty people joining anyways, and then I would have tried to increase rally cap a little bit more. I did use rally cap gens, and I have rally cap to 44, but there was a little bit more rally cap research that I could have done here before actually doing the rally. This would have given me another 12% rally cap, and then maybe I could have found another way or two to get that. That wouldn't have been a huge deal. That would have maybe increased the rally capacity by like maybe 3 million, 2.5, 3 million. And so it wasn't going to make a huge difference, but maybe it would have gotten a few more people in those siege rallies. The other thing that we kind of messed up on is that we had too many keeps there. That we weren't really in threat of getting rallied because their kind of main alliance was in battlefield, and honestly, I think they were more concerned about getting the subs than trying to counter rally or anything like that. Um, and so, but we had too many smaller buff players there that were trying to get into the rallies, and really we should have been more set up with our top buffs, making sure that we go positive on the rallies as possible. Um, But I mean, you live and you learn. I was a little bit concerned about filling the rallies, at the time that we were doing, and so I tried to get as many people as possible. But you live and you learn. It was still fun for me, honestly. Like, and that's why we play this game. If we lose to SVS by this, like, I mean, yeah, it kind of sucks, but like, it's it's it still is fun, and it still is an interesting problem for me to like try and break through this keep that I know outclasses us on buffs. Being clear on that, uh, definitely really solid buffs on that keep, even without an alliance. And obviously we can take our time and set up and do like the correct rallies and stuff like that, but we didn't do that in this case. So lots of cool learnings. I hope you enjoyed these videos on it, and hope you learned something about kind of the rationale behind doing the different rallies and stuff like that. Let me know if you have any questions or if you have any other suggestions on what we could have done to go positive here. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.